Good afternoon, good morning, special visit God. Uh, we have some trouble getting into some of the things that we're supposed to play here before we can get into our program today. But notwithstanding, we believe
Today we're going to be talking about a
that
topic that's
you
as
know
depressing as your bank account
God
balance on
is
a Monday
so
morning,
faithful.
or as
Um, I actually wanted to get to something, but I can get there. But good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And again, yesterday was the very next time with our partnership forum, one of our partner, very interesting story about an organization very much protective and more kind of focused organization back in Liberia. It was a very interesting time. Yesterday we have some interruption with the internet, especially with the Zoom side of our network, and it was not really picking up. Uh, Many of you guys didn't view, but we repelled it, and most of you will be seeing the intro. We are trying to get it prepared out there, but it was very interesting time with Sis Moore, Miss Moore, who actually is a Liberian and actually an American citizen also, and she has this big vision and passion for what God has called us to do. And I want to thank God here today. I want to see more about, and that's what the community engagement is all about. If you probably may not know about the community engagement more or less, I want you to understand that we are not just an organization that think about, well, okay, today, tomorrow. No, we can think about tomorrow again, or probably we gone, or we just about one side, or probably we focusing on maybe another person. No, we are for everyone, whether you are Christian, whether you are Muslim, whether you are Buddhist, whatever you are. Remember, human rights is an entitlement to every individual, and this right must be protected by law, guaranteed by the state. And if you begin to go back and see where we come from as an organization, I think not only that we keep the ball rolling despite the challenges, we think challenges are part of life, and it also helps to build up your experience, especially when we talk about marriage and different stuff that you went through, and even if you stay in it. So it's all about experience, which is the best teacher. Probably you might get into something that you enjoying, you might not have any experience, but I'm not saying that you force to have experience, but experience is the best teacher. And I want to thank God for whatever God is doing through the community engagement, and we are engaging people. Engagement is about talking. It's about spreading the good news, talking good things about our communities, and we talk about the volunteer for change is the code name for the community engagement global mission. Volunteer for change America, volunteer for change Liberia, whatever. But it's just about taking it to that level of understanding that somebody trying to get after you because in their own mind they think that, well, you could not be the right person to share that information that you have, sensitive information to share with communities. Probably maybe you have something bigger than what they think about, and they want to ridicule you and bring you down. No, we say you got to keep moving and believing God. We know that, when we talk about the weapons of our warfare, they're not carnal, but are mighty in pulling down strongholds. And, as we rise up above principalities, our people of God, our border should be larger. And I think what we are doing here at the community engagement level, if you may not understand, we looking at women's rights, you know, and responsibilities. Today we're going to talk more about it, and it has to do with taking care of their children, taking care of, and we want to tell all women thank you, mothers in the word today. Thank you for bringing us in the word. Thank you for the time you took to take care of us. Thank you for may her soul rest in peace, our own mother. Thank all the women, girls coming up, and you need protection. You need your right needs to be protected and guided to the place where, well, you can understand your responsibilities. So when we're talking about, close your legs campaign. If you have a flashback to know what was and is the real intent, uh, according to Sis Moore, looking at the fact that many of us, if not all of us, would think about how well we have to dependent on something in order to survive, or else, well, we're not dependent on believing ourselves. Even if we eat dry rice, we must be able to have the word integrity placed to our name and understand that, well, okay, we can do all this guy, or probably our responsibility is to think positive about our life, about ourselves. And you know, when we I'm going to be laying more emphasis on the tomorrow program when it comes to Christian family, marriage, and intimacy, sex. I'm going to be talking more about it. When it comes to how can we spend more time with our family, with the family, what are the both spouses, how can we understand? It's not just about uh, getting into a relationship. And at the end of the day, you get into the choice you made. And I'll talk about choice is less the consequences. So because human rights is a responsibility, rights and responsibility goes together. At the community engagement level here, we believe in rights, we believe in responsibilities. More because you can have your rights, but then, well, you forget about your responsibility that you're not supposed to show that in that community. You're supposed to be the one to clean the community because, well, the community, if your community is clean, you're healthy, and it brings proud to you as a citizen of that place, of that country, of that environment. So the community engagement is all about spreading this whole thing, and we are going massively talking about the volunteer for change. It's a very massive program for all of us, whether you are a church member, whether you go to the mosque, whether you are a Buddhist, whatever you are. We cannot change our community. We cannot change the fabrics, the foundation of whatever legacy we have, except we begin to understand the fact that we are human. And as women, especially emphasizing the women's right today, uh, looking at role we play as women, the power of networking, as we spoke to more, we think we can have more interactions with the program because of what she's doing, and other whole fee that they can come in, and we can talk about these issues. But talking is one thing. We may not have the money, but by teaching and educating the people and directing them to the right source and people who we think we can direct to, it also help. So that is what we've been doing for the past 4 years. Not only being legalized, and now anticipate having this anniversary in May, which we believe, we pray that things get better. We move into that level, and we're inviting people to the program. We have in person, at the same time, virtual probably sections will be held. You can be in a part of the world and view what is going on back and what we're going to be doing here. I think all of us has a responsibility. The problem we have is people that are not taking people are not taking a responsibility or taking charge of certain things that they think they are not seeing it to be their own. So, well, they overlook people, they overlook each other, so they don't move in that direction. So I want to encourage women, especially because it is you who made us, who make us to be where we are today. Many mothers, I want to congratulate you for being the pain you bore and bring forward children into the world. And most of the guys are big guys, and when we get beat, then we start to kick our mothers out, and sometimes want to fight them, but we didn't know that we're bees. And the responsibility of our mothers, they played their role. Some of them didn't play the role well, but no matter what, they didn't play the role well. They brought you outside to see you. And as we try to celebrate all our mothers and looking at our rights and responsibility, we need to begin to look at that volunteer for change is not just about, well, okay, I want to volunteer, but I want to bring change in my community. I want to bring change in my family. I want to bring change in that place of work. I want to bring change in the government. So shifting our mentality. I want to be changed in the life of this man. This guy was a promiscuous guy, but I would give him all the love that he needed. Even though some of the guys would say, well, I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow, but some of the guys would say, well, I don't care how you give this guy love, to still want to go outside and eat from all the tables. But listen, I think the thing about you know life is all about risks, right? But the risk we take, but the constructive risk, that we go in the life of another person, or probably see this person so attractive, we want to get to them, and that's what. And many times, we don't realize that we have a balance in life as a woman, trying to grow up in the community that you find yourself. You have rights to make choice, but the choice you make determine the future. So that's why my term say choices less than consequences. The entire probably thing for community engagement is our motto is, if you look at our motto very well, human rights is an entitlement, yes, but human right is not optional. Human right is not optional. So that title is clear. In other words, you don't need to choose to say, well, I want to respect this guy, or probably I don't have to to respect this person, or I have to abuse this person. No, it's not optional. It's a must. The fact that we overlook it and we do it doesn't mean that it's optional. So when we speak in terms of rights and responsibilities, we speak in terms of your duty to men. Probably like how to call her, uh, Desire said yesterday, which is responsibility is more than the assignment, because she doesn't have one assignment. Assignment could be assigned. I could be assigned. God could be assigned me to do something today, probably, and then tomorrow I do. So it's just my responsibility is to take action towards the thing that I see to change my world, and that's why we believe in rights and responsibilities. So that was the assignment yesterday was very great, because it's a time to talk about our assignment, what God has told us to do, or how what we feel like doing. Sometimes uh, our passion could be driving us, and it may not be God speaking to us, but we drive our passion to something too. Sometimes we learn, we are trained to do something, and yes, we get so much addicted to it, then we do it well. And so I want to thank all of you guys, man, and thank you for following all the time. This is all about, breaking that gap of poverty, of disrespect, of envy, of jealousy, but moving forward with this word called unity, breaking that kind of gap. That's a big gap in communities. Talking about churches, talking about religious organization. It's very difficult to unite, because it's so bad that a man and a wife don't sleep in bed. Either the man sleep on the ground, on the floor, or she sleep on the floor on the left side of the bed. Your responsibility as a woman is to make sure that you fulfill your marital vow. We're going to be talking about it And your responsibility also is not just thinking that, well, okay, I have rights, and so I'm going to use this right against my husband. Okay, your responsibility is to understand that when you went to the throne of grace, it was both for you guys to say for better than for worse. So work together to make a better society. Because you see, the reason why we emphasize on women's rights and try to empower them with the word is because when women are empowered, you have a whole big change. If you see desire, right? You can see if you listen to some of the things she's saying, she's been applying. There are many lives that have been affected by her application. So say Sarah is on the social media 24/7. I was talking to her this morning, and and when you listen to her, she whether she's tired, whether she got to get on the social media to talk to somebody. She's doing something for God, and so you know, and there's a change, okay, and everybody is doing something. Says Jennifer Bishop Jennifer been in the ministry for some time. She brought a lot, but people may not be following that. People might not be supportive. Okay, a lot of people are doing great things, right? No matter where you are as a woman, know your right, but know that you're responsible to take action. It may be in your home, you might be going through uh, some difficult situation that you think, well, okay, I have to give up because my husband is not really giving me the attention. He doesn't care for me. And, sometimes we men, we are so promiscuous because, we see attractive people every day. And so if we're not careful about it, we go away because women were made for men, and that's the reality. So we got to understand as men also that, look, listen to me. I have my wife. I have to give her some time to her. I have to love her, and you as a woman, you should understand that you choose to get in the life of this guy. You have to love him for the depth of your heart. And what happens when it comes to women's rights is that in the West, many times we have this thing of the skills, and people just play joke about marriage because it's just a game, right? So, but I think if we can look at the center of the family, as we talk about all the time on Saturday, is that when it comes to the Christian level, what I'm talking about in the general sense here is that, look, we need to realize that as a woman, yes, you have so much respect because you bring forth a child, you bring forth a human being that is existing, that going to make a legacy. That person, if you begin to impact, thank God yesterday we saw thousands of, I think, I don't know how many, 1,000, 2,000 of Liberian graduating. Now, maybe some of them might not find jobs to like the Desire was saying yesterday, college graduating. I know in Liberia, even though not all the college graduates are capable, we understand. Even though they have the degree, but capability is not their portion. Most of them, if not all of them. Okay, you got to prove yourself. But the point also is that the reason why we don't have a level playing ground in those countries, in our country, especially in Liberia, and that's what the community engagement is all about. We need to open up and say this thing, make the government, get the government feet down to the ground. And that's what we're empowering our community by means of giving them information that we are trying to do with the Volunteer for Change Liberia. We're going to be having an open discussion virtually and also in person to talk about how can we drive our own communities and stand for what we stand for. So when these elections come about to elect our leaders, we know our responsibility is to make that choice. And I think the reason why we not be making those choices is because of poverty, because of lack of understanding that we have responsibility. So we're going to make choice. If I want to marry a woman, and I've been in a relationship, and I know how tough it was, and actually it is, but I have to make that choice. I'm making sometimes it become a challenge or probably race, but you got to make a choice. That choice I'm making is just one day to go and take another woman's hand. Let's go to the throne, man. I love you. Let's go. And then after that day, anything comes out, the years is the consequences. So I can go to elections. Probably women are carrying a lot of burden. So when we talk about women's rights and responsibility, it's to speak to their children. Look, go to the tomb, go to vote, but you make a choice, and the choice you make determine where we go. So we're going to be speaking more, engaging our community when it comes to how do we engage our leaders, how do we choose our leader, how do we identify our leaders. It's not just about friendship. It's not just about brothership. I tell you the truth. Get out of here if you're my brother, then you're not serious about what I'm doing. I'm not concerned about that. My concern is to do it. Get out of here. If you're my wife or you my spouse or whatever, and you're not serious about what I'm thinking about, well, just go on the other side. Let me go my way. This is not time to joke about what you're doing on the assignment. And the reason why many men, and I'm going to be speaking about it tonight, many men die before they reach their age is because they stay in the light of a toxic relationship, which that relationship does not know her responsibility and keep her husband on a hostage. And for many years, the guy is just looking like a dead guy because he doesn't speak. He loses a sense of integrity, self-esteem is not there because why he's been abused by his wife. Responsibility. So the responsibility of you as a woman, every woman has a right, but you have a responsibility to either bring your husband up or bring him down. And remember that if you're bringing your husband down, you're also tearing down your children because your children are watching. So we need to engage each other, yes, but we need to be constructive as we empower you with the word. You have rights, and especially in the West, many women have right too much than men. So sometimes the good one knows their responsibility and they take actions and make their home to be productive. They want to have ills in their society, whether they're coming from the bad background or good background, they mess their whole life up, and then sometimes they come back again to blame the man and go all around with bad mouthing the guy. And oh, this guy is my husband, he doesn't like me. We've been together for this year, he forsook me, he called, he said this and that. But listen to me today. Rights, responsibilities. And I will tell somebody I can stand before any part of the world and defend myself in my divorce. There's nothing wrong with that. Why? Because if I say it, no woman will want to hear that because it's going to be like, bad muffin that woman because it was it was terrible. But listen to this. It doesn't matter whether you're a woman and you feed that well, you have all the rights and you want to feed that, okay, I would torment this guy for the years. And then after you tormented your husband, and then probably maybe after 10 years, then you try to come to your senses. The husband have already lose love. They know love is dead. And then that man now finds somebody to think, to love, and to spend the rest of his life with. Then you buy a muffin thinking that well the guy was born for you. And that is your responsibility as a woman to treat your husband like a man, like your friend, your best friend. And when it comes to bringing up your own relationship, knowing your right as a woman and your responsibility to treat your children, your husband, and people around you right, because you are the real mother. You become the manager of the home. Now, why do you think we emphasize on women's rights and responsibility? Because many homes are breaking because of women. And even though our men are so promiscuous sometimes, we understand that, but we think in our own mind that we have too much rights. We want to go to court, we want to go for child support, and because and sometimes, if not all the women in the West, will play games of down here. We try to get in the life of somebody and get into bed and have something going on, and when you look, you're pregnant, and then after a certain time, you start behaving like you don't understand what's going on. I don't know. I don't want you in my life again because you think in your mind. And there's a child support coming up. Rights and responsibility. Your responsibility is to respond positively to life. In other words, you are not made to be a joke. You are not made in order to be a wicked person against a man who you went to the throne with. In other words, or a man that you say you love. Okay, so your responsibility as a woman, as to protect your right, as we talk about women's right, is to also understand that whatever action you take, choice, it affects your children. And the reason why we have many, sometimes you can see that many children, you just think that they find, oh, Kevin at the school, everything, those children are watching you very well. Don't mind them. They are kids, especially from 0 to 7, 8 years. If you are in that situation, watch your kids, especially when you are abusive to the man, whether he was your boyfriend, whether he was your children's father, very much abused and a toxic man. Watch them seeing you, watch them growing up, seeing what you're doing to their father, and then you are teaching them something, and there's some implication, something that they grew up with that will affect your daughter. So our responsibility as women is to make sure we protect our integrity. One, we protect our homes, make sure our children are safe from those kind of situations because it affect them. If they are not strong enough, their life is not going to end up fine. So especially when those girls children grow up from the age of protecting and maybe because of insecurity they got in life, especially from toy protecting, forget it. You can put a fence up like this. They're going to jump over it and go out there. So women should be the one to protect their homes, especially bringing up the children, making sure that life is going to be pleasant for them, no matter what comes their way. Even though the husband or the spouse try to play them up, focus on your children, and that is where we are. I can't remember. My father beating my mother. I don't know about that, but I think whatever that went on, our focus was well on just what we're doing. Especially the attribute of our mother. They also rest in peace. So the thing about it, because of our mother, that was the attribute. We're not basically looking at the father because every time we're glued to our mother. So why am I saying this? The children are glued to the mother in more cases. You bring the you carry us in your womb for many years, I mean months, and we came out. We ate from you. We were part of you. We came up again. We say suck your breast. So you are more than just a child. So that child glued to you as a mother. So what happens is we're going to be talking more about it because you see, as we grow up in our community engagement, try to engage mother and teach people when it comes to human rights. We have rights, but our responsibility is to respond to society. Society begins right in your house. I said, my ministry is my house. It's not about, if my house is not settled. If you look at my kids, I don't want to talk about it, but I think they have some sense of understanding what was going on. But there was something about the home in my life. If I was a promiscuous guy at the time, I would have had 2, 3 children. Look at me, I got 3 kids just from the person. And I still maintain myself, even though I went through a severe tension that would have destroyed my life, that would have caused me to even have more than 2, 3 children because I got a lot of women working with me. My SA is a woman married, how to call her, Oyawa. She is a lady. She's been working with me for more than, I think, 10 years now. So what am I saying this? I'm saying this to say that, look, um, we mess our life up sometimes as women. And I was telling somebody, we're laughing yesterday, and because my children mother always crying, oh, well, one day, I think this guy, but finish forgetting that it's been finished, and there's no way in my life. I love her so much. I can't hate someone who brings forth child for me, but I can't go back in her life. No way in my body. I'd rather remain as I am. That's the bottom line. Because God showed me and God taught me all of that. You see, We made a lot of mistakes sometimes in life, especially the men of God. Sometimes we try to push people into toxic marriage, and sometimes we think that we're doing the right thing. Now, women, know your rights and know your responsibilities. You might be in a toxic relationship, and I'm a pastor, and I'm not just a pastor, I'm a seasoned pastor, a divine call by God. I don't have to talk about that. And so when I'm speaking, I speak divine, I speak with revelations. I don't speak with prophets that lie to people or entice people because I want money from them. I will be happy when you be a blessing to me. I forget it because I need it, but I'm not going to entice you to get it. No, forget it. All the time I've been doing what I'm doing. What am I saying this? I'm saying this to say that look, women have rights. The responsibility is to make sure that look, you've been in a marriage or in a relationship for many years, and you see the toxic guy or the guy is in you guys are married. I can't carry my wife to the throne and beat her. If I don't want her again, I better walk out of the relationship. Maybe some juju is playing with the relationship, then I have to pray and believe God that God will reveal to me. And that's what some of us did for many years, and we could not find a solution. We thought that well, this person was joking because good guy like me, I traveled and beside that, I'm just a good guy. So why would this person would treat me like a dog? So I was kind of thinking, oh, let me wait next year. Well, maybe this person will come to the senses. And it didn't come to the senses. It was worse. In that kind of situation, man, ask God to reveal and get out of it. Rights and responsibility. Your responsibility is to think you are in that relationship. You don't have to abuse him the way you think because it affects your children. So you see, many of my pastor's friends sometimes they got some different thinking about these issues of maybe their spiritual daughter or sometimes they keep but don't go because they feel that the boyfriend or maybe the guy who is dating to marry the person or maybe in that marriage is giving too much tie to the church and is sowing too much into the church. So maybe if the relationship break up only because he been beating his wife and the daughter, spiritual daughter of me as a pastor, and I feel that well, okay, this guy can sow too much money to the church. Go away. I don't have time for that. I'm going to put it right in your face because why? Because I don't want you tomorrow, a lady or someone who I say my daughter or someone who I know, and I fool you to say, well, okay, you go back in our relationship, go there. I don't want to cause names and pastors in Nigeria, people who have caused incident for themselves and their daughter is normal. You see, we must be wise. It's not about spiritualism. People always act like they are so spiritual. So the enemy blind their eyes, even in the wake of something that they need to have a deep revelation about. So it's not all about, oh, I'm going to 50 days prayer. And sometimes you ask the question why this guy was in the prayer for many years and could not understand why this woman was being abused in this toxic relationship. She knew her rights, but she forgot her responsibility to take action because of love or lust. Sometimes, by means of African setting, people take you to juju and carry your name and bury your name because you could be prayerful, but you seems to be so loving this guy. And you forgot about yourself as a woman who has a better future. That somebody will keep you being abused, sorry for all the days of your life. I'm sorry. So you're right, yes, to have your husband, to respect him, the responsibility to take action when action needs to be taken in order for your life to be at peace with yourself, with God, and with the people around you and your children. So the community engagement is not just about let's talk about rights. You have responsibilities to make choices. If you make choice to say, okay, I like this guy or I like this community. I want to help, my own way, volunteer to see how I can feed children every week or see how I can look around and see their child that go to school yet don't have a bed. We have this operation, each child one bed. And how can I be support? Operation each child one bed is not about community engagement providing the bags. Well, in some cases, once we have the mobilization of resources and that purpose coming, well, we can do some in some area that we know we can cover up that need. But we're talking in terms of a global sense. How can we be a part of the community and see children going to school all day? Can we mobilize ourselves and come together to say, well, we got to take initiative? Let's see, we got 10 children in the community. Every day I see them pass by here that don't have bags. So those are all the things when you talk about volunteer for change. You can take initiative as a woman, okay, to protect your home uh, from from intruders. There are women that intrude into people's relationships. In other words, if you're a woman, know that you're peculiar. And if you see your friend whom is very settled man, pray for your own. And if you also a woman, understand your rights. Yes, when people speaks about right, they forget about responsibility and they start treating their spouse from the beginning bad, and forgot to know that this guy is a human being. He has a nature. He has a dominant nature. The dominant nature or a sinful nature. Uh, you know, Adam nature inside of us is something that comes out. Jesus Christ came down and broke that nature, but it stay part of, or we stay want to be of there. Okay, we still look up to our wife to give us advice. Okay, and sometimes if you're not a good wife, if you're not a good person, you might give your husband bad advice to take decision that is going to destroy the fabrics of our society. Women are very essential in decision making. Go to bed with your husband in the night. He can be the president of the nation. You are one of the souls. And I want to encourage all women in the world. You are so powerful. Use that power to develop nations. Because you can speak to your husband just by words. If he love you, he can change the world. So what are you doing? That's the message. Volunteer for change. How can we take initiative? This is no joke about it. This is not about the what we're doing here is not about joke. It's not about, well, what about challenge that we face? We've been facing challenges. We still face it, but we must be fast. We must continue to do what God has called us to do, and more than just on the side, like our sister said. That's why we say rights, and responsibilities. Because sometimes you are assigned to do something for God, and the next time God is calling you to do another thing, and you feel burdened, you feel that you have your burden is so bigger, your responsibility is getting more because of the assignment. And I want you to understand as we look at responsibility of women, and not forgetting that the community is prioritizing children in this new generation, looking at how can we talk about kids, how can we bring them to the place where we can our own life, yeah, yeah, and I feel that we can be driving to the place where whatever God is saying to me, God could be saying the same thing to you this tonight or this morning. And I want us to fix our eyes, and as we not propagating the gospel. Okay, the God is so, he's so good. This lady is so good. She speaks well. She able to comprehend. She really able to take care of children. She been into great things. She been doing great things. Continue to encourage these women because it's a burden. I was talking to our Desire yesterday. I told her, I said, you did well. You see, continue to buttress the effort of a woman who is doing something for our society. buttress the effort, no matter whether she was your wife or she was your friend or she was a partner. And I find out all the guys, all the men. If you're a man and you're not supporting your wife into the ministry, or you're a man, you're not supporting your wife in that little project, then ask yourself the question, what why God put you on the planet Earth? Because listen, she's your helper, but again, she has a burden on her heart, charity. She want to give back to her society. And I was speaking in terms of rich guys and people who got money. We're going to come to you, man. We're going to talk to you, whether you gave our community engagement or not. We're still going to talk to you because you see, the community engagement, like we are talking about the cleaning, our cleaning projects, engaging different communities. We're going to be uh, we're going to be targeting some area that we are already looking at that we can take initiative. Okay, look, and I want us to have the same mentality. Money may not be there. How can you take initiative to say, okay, we are going to be responsible? Okay, forget about city corporation will come in one day. Forget about them giving you all the money. Take initiative and see that in that community, maybe that place has been filled for many years. All the time, people pass there, and you go to other state, you can see it. So, what can you do in order to make it look like you too want to join other communities to keep your community clean? Community engagement is all about that. How can you join other women in this initiative? Not to criticize them, not to buy mob them. How can you join these people in order to buttress their effort by just telling them thank you? You may not have the money. And I want to encourage women all over the world to join us in this initiative. Yes, even if you don't join us, join your community. That is our call. And sending back a very thank you to the Burkina Faso, the Burkina Faso president. He cared for his people. So that's what we're talking about. And not building all the empire for yourself and forgetting about the people. Women, look at your husband. They are president, they are leaders in nations. What is their mentality about the people? What are they doing that contradict the will of God for their lives? When we mounted all the money for our families and think that we are billionaires, and then the poor people suffer and died in poverty. And when God talk about resources, are we saying to ourselves, as women, that we can stand on the fence? Thank God for many women that rising up all over the place in the world today, speaking up, leave a legacy right here. You may not have the money, you may have the influence, you may not have the influence, you might have the money. That's why we like to talk to people who don't have, so that one person could be a blessing to us. And I want to sound this off here. Every day we come here and we're going to be talking more about the community engagement, reaching out people in the inbox, whether you want to be a blessing, whether you want to help. Well, we pray for you. We pray that God, give you the mind to think about that. If you're a woman, know that you have responsibility. And I tell people sometimes we have to make all the sacrifice to build up what we're doing. Okay? Not because we have everything, no. But that's a passion you have. Because you have a passion, you want to see something change. So even if you don't have all the willpower, financial and everything, it should not stop you in the middle of your dreams. Women, wake up. Don't remain in that toxic relationship uh, and don't understand your responsibility to take actions that will save your life. Look at your children and see that probably you want to leave that relationship for that little boy or somebody who you don't even know. And leave your children with a father. And sometimes the children are vulnerable. Remember that you're bringing up one of those children or that child could be a president. By the result of decisions, consequences might be bad for the life of the children. There are some children, even if they were deserted, they ended up in the old folks' home or somewhere in the foster home, and they are taken care of, and God bless them. They're not all the children, not all of us. And I want to continue to say to women, we have the ability to make choice. But the choices we made, we have the consequences. I'll tell you the truth. I know that I will enjoy my wife and I will spend more time with my family, no matter what uh, I'm doing. Because that is why God gave you that family. Or else you might be a man that is indecisive. You're here today, here tomorrow, tomorrow you're in the other place. And then think about it. Or you're a woman that you are indecisive. You see that other guy, he looking so handsome and so well, you are confused about this guy. And sometimes it's like that. I want guy with money. This guy doesn't have money that they can get one side. I will listen to him later all the time. I listen to people and I can just laugh sometimes because sometimes we speak as if we forgot to know something. And when we talk about men who got money, if you don't have money, don't come to me. That means we are saying, even if God said that was your partner, don't come to me. You already speak that wrong to your life. Rights and responsibility, choice. When you listen on Facebook and see some of the guys, they will explain to you how many of them are ritualists. But sometimes we don't understand what it means to begin with a relationship that love. We don't even know that, well, it began good, it began bad, but it will end good. So we got to keep being persistent. Our responsibility, as I conclude, the reason why many of us are losing our spouses, our men, is that that part of it is going to be emphasized more tomorrow. But is that we spend some time with them, we don't spend quality time already, then we discouraging them all the time. But we stay there. We proclaim to be there, and we stay looking all over the place, and we are not even committed to that. Our responsibility is to keep our commitment to our spouses, to our husbands, because we are building up a society. We are building up a home. And then when we go at the end of the day, I'm talking about married couples. At the end of the day, you guys have spent 5, 6, 7 years together, and all those years you were uncommitted. You are abusing him, you are insulting him, and you are saying to him sometimes, you are a good for nothing guy, or you think I'm going to be with you, you can't be my husband, you are a foolish guy. Like my children mother most of the time at that time. All those years that you were doing it, you were trying to tell him, well, I'm not committed in this relationship. I don't trust you. And so when you don't know your responsibility as a woman, you does that even though you're in the marriage, but then you are not committed to it. You are indecisive, and you are getting your husband already, and you decide to put a white hair tie on your head and go to all the prayer bands because you don't know your responsibility to pray. So you go to all the prayer band, and sometimes, if not all the time, you mess your entire life up because you meet up with altars. Talk about demonic altars. And that speaks something wrong to you, and you accept it because they want your money. And at the end of the day, the relationship is teared apart. You come back to blame other people. Rights and responsibility. And then we try to get vexed with this guy, but we forgot to know that we have contaminated spiritual contamination, spiritual crisis. Something spiritual is very difficult to fight with physical weapons. And that's what's going on in many women's life. And then sometimes you attract something from those kind of different altars and take it to your home. And it affects your children, it affects your relationship, and your husband is confused, going all over the place, and then you insulting him, but you forgot to know that that was the place you broke your marriage. Rights, responsibilities. You have right to your husband. That's your husband. You can talk about him. Okay? But when you start to disrespect him and probably go all the way, you feel like being not just promiscuous, and you want, oh, there's a guy, I would show him that I'm a woman. Well, okay, and you sleep again, you go to another guy, and you forgot to know that those are simple things to be spread all over the place. And then this guy have come to the place now to lose confidence, even though you've been in a marriage. Even though you say you are in the marriage is about this, but for better than for worse, it's not about on commitment. And I want to conclude on that. Women rights, yes. Women responsibilities. Protect your marriage, to protect your home. That is a responsibility. So when you go that long time with your husband, maybe abstaining from him, you have definitely told him that I don't need you in my life again. And then with this person have gotten glued to somebody or try to just forget about you totally. After 10, 15 years, you come back to your senses and start by morphing him. We've been together since to the fire, and you're crying for nothing because except the guy probably maybe mine is not made up, except by the grace of God, you stay his wife. He might come back to you. But all men, any man that made her his mind, especially when it comes to that, forget it. You can cry the pepper boy come from all the sky. Or you wasting water on the door back. You wasting water on the door back. Because what it called love, when it dies in a man, he's looking for peace. He's not looking for nothing else but peace. Good men not just looking for your money, for your influence. Your responsibility is to respect and know that you are a woman of integrity. Love your husband. Love your spouse. You're going into dating. You're discussing something serious about that. Don't play on him because you feel that he's a Christian, or maybe maybe he dropped from heaven. No, he didn't drop from heaven. He's a human being. He's another woman's son, and he has right to make choice because he knows the choice determines the future. Anyone that does not know that the choice is just one day, but the future ahead of you, that makes choice is less the consequences. So again, I want to encourage you. Uh, you know, women have rights. We need to prioritize our children. Yes, we need to look at the new generation, empower them, and by empowering them means well, many ways to empower the children. Send them to school, prioritize their education, and focus on how you can build them up. The new generational, like we talk about the new generational conference just ended. How do we drive our passion as a woman to a bigger thing that nobody will expect? There are women, there are factories women. The Bible talk about in Proverbs 31. That kind of woman that takes on a daily basis of a load and solve to make her children to be fed, to bring food in her house, even if the man did not have, even if the men were going wrong. That woman that gets on her knee and prayed and know that she prayed for her husband and hold her husband's hand in the morning, in the evening, and pray with him, bound the forces of darkness. That woman that says to herself that this is my responsibility to uphold my marriage. Not that woman that goes, even if the lay child that don't know about your home, she will explain about your home. Even if a woman, a little girl who thinking about their own problems sitting home, or that woman will explain about her own home. That home is bound to be destroyed. Responsibilities. So when you lack your responsibility and broke your marriage, take the blame. Because that man, if except he's not serious about his own life, dare him come back to your life. He's not going to come back. He's not. You see, so let us also, as we close here, why it is true that we have rights, we have responsibility. We must be very, very prayerful, very mindful of what God has called us to do. Might be introduced to something good. Oh yeah, this thing will be good today. People start giving you the money. You say, yeah, I like this girl here. I like her because she like me. Some of us, I like we like our women to women more than our men, our husbands, probably. And then at the end of the day, then we lost the taste and the feelings of getting a husband. And then when it comes time, then we stay want to go back again. It's very late. I think we need to begin to think about where we are because you can't build up any home. You say male and female. You can't build up any home for the child to be looking at you and only you or never you. That is a bad implication for our society. And so if the society will go like this until the end, then what happened? Who will know who is who? So if we instill discipline to our children, we must understand that look, this is God's standard for your life. And as we engage each other religiously, whatever the entire world center around male and female. There's no other thing besides dogs, animals, which is not my friend, which is not supposed to be around me, even though other people make the choice. But the consequences is there. At the end of the day, then they want to say, well, I don't know why nobody wants to see me. So listen to me as I close today. I want to encourage a woman to listen into this tape. You can engage your children, you engage your husband constructively. The responsibility to speak to this life, the responsibility to speak positive things about your husband. No matter what is going on around you, it could be a demonic attack, and that attack could be for you to go against your husband. In other words, for your husband to get weak about you and think about leaving the relationship. So when you glue to certain thing that is trying to influence you and agree, forgetting your children, forgetting about your responsibility as a wife, and you are the one the society depends on. Can build a good society with you as a woman. And that's why we emphasize on women's rights and we emphasize on uh, responsibilities. And I want to continue to encourage you, those of us who are faithful, those of us who are walking according to the word of God. I want to encourage you because we are in a dispensation that is so devised, and a lot of things happen to all of us. And probably as a result of the community engagement, we think that we can get around and just go back and see how you can register. I'm going to send a link again, and we're going to be reaching out there, especially I think around the 20th, 25th of next month. We're going to have an open discussion virtually as we bring this awareness. Uh, Volunteer for Change, Liberia, and then volunteer for change, whatever country, America, whatever country. How can you change your community? How can you change that perspective about your relationship and be a good person to your husband, to your children, to the people around you? It's just taking one day to make that choice. And I want to thank you. I want to challenge you. Join the community engagement. There is a society. There's a family that believe in constructive engagement. I want to encourage churches that probably think that, well, okay, we can do everything on our own. We don't have time for you guys. Well, Christianity is relationship. It's not about self-centeredness. It's about reaching out to the lost to bring them to Christ. So I want to encourage you, women, be a good mother. I know that there are sometimes we want to give up in life. Challenges are there, especially Liberians and all of us. We have challenges, but those challenges in most cases are strength for us. If there were no challenge, I would have not been here today. I would have been in a different situation. I don't know where if there was no challenge. If there were no fighting in my relationship. If there were no fighting in my struggle, in my walk with churches, with different organizations, I would have not identified my purpose. And I want to thank God for you guys, and I know that the community engagement will be celebrating uh, the first anniversary of being legalized, and the fifth, I think it's the fourth anniversary of being on social media. That celebration is beginning from May, from the 5th of May, I think, to the 15th of May, and it's going to be different activities. Probably we're going to be coming up, and we will be coming up to you. Maybe somebody will say, "Okay, I will be the one to pay for the house." We know that, we don't want to say this. We have the event center of the Redeemed Church. We're going to talk to them and see what we're going to reach up to the town and see their schedules. We have all the different events. We're going to musical concert to raise money for the office, and some of the things that we anticipate doing for the office. I believe that is bigger than me, and so I want to call on the word. I want to call on those of us who are seeming to be a change maker, not just a guy who just want to be the biscuit alone. I want to enjoy myself. I want to enjoy my marriage. I want to enjoy my wife. I really want to enjoy that person that's so dear to my heart. I don't know that Jesus. I'm not. It's just it's gonna be a surprise. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I know that there's a spotlight already. And I want to thank God for all you guys. No matter where you are praying, if you are praying for me, pray for me. But if you are praying for me, thinking that I'm going to come back in your life as a woman, just leave that one with God, because God did not do that. Okay, I don't think God wanted to see me destroyed. That's why God took me from you as a woman. If you were anywhere listening to this thing, you need to think about it. I love you, yes. Never gonna hate you, man. But I will tell you the truth. I'm not coming back in your life. Just cut that one off. Okay, cut it off. The reason is simple, because I know what I went through, and I don't want to say to myself, if I had no choice, consequences. And I say to all of us, those are all who are my friends, thank you for being there. Sometimes you ain't talk to me, man. Those who didn't understand what was going on at the time for years, man, thank God for you guys. But if had it not been for the wisdom, for God leading, I would have been gone. I would have been gone. But thank God that I'm here and I'm still active, and that's why I gave my full time to God and believing God for the better change. And so I'm not going to compromise with anything that I know that will jeopardize the future of where God is leading us to. So God bless you, man. Just have a good day and spend your time with your family. Enjoy your marriage. Enjoy yourself. Don't allow anybody to fool you to think that, well, marriage is not good. It's good, especially with the right person, and not with the wrong person. Also, you can be alone and still enjoy your life, because you want your privacy. You don't want for people to embarrass you. You're going through a lot of stuff. I don't blame you for that. I'm not going to blame any woman or man who feel, well, I think I guess going to be me. I'm bad lucky for man or woman. And anybody, I can make that decision tomorrow. I can say, oh, I think I can be myself. Just do what I can do, enjoy my life, and move on with what God wants to do. So God bless you, and don't never. My last word to all of pastor leaders: don't ever think that the next person, maybe because she's not married, or maybe he's not married, so he's not qualified to teach or to counsel. Go back and Google and see what Google will tell you. Go back and tell people about it and see what the word experience means, and what it means to be called and to be anointed and to be trained to do it. God bless you, man. Have a good day. And we work together to make a change in our society. Let us not criticize, but let us be constructive in making the decision to change our community. You don't have to worry about somebody telling you you're not capable. Don't worry about them telling you, well, you're not supposed to do this. All you worried about what God have called you, and do what God called you to do. That's the bottom line. Thank you, and till we meet